Welcome back. So in this video I'm going to talk about the decision making statements in Java. So if you are using any programming language, there is a chance that you already know this topic, but however I'm going to cover it from the Java's point of view, since there is some differences between Java and other programming languages when it's come to the conditional statements. So let's get ahead and check those, and I will try to make it very much beginner friendly so that even the beginner programmers can follow along. So let's get started. So let's define one variable time of type integer and assign one value 11 to it, and let's then start our first if statement, which is if, and in the expression we gonna put this time less than is equal to 11. If time is less than is equal to 11, we are going to print one message that is going to be good morning. So if you save this, okay, so before going any further, let's run this one. Really sorry, sometimes I type stupid stuff. Okay, so let's run this. Okay, so as you can see, the good morning is printed. So another thing that I want to clarify here, that in Java 11, actually you do not have to compile the code in order to execute it. So you can directly execute this command java space the java class name dot java file name java extension. It will what the JDK will do is that it will do the compilation thing on the memory. So you do not get the class file, but it happens in the memory. So you what JDK does is it compiles it and shows you the output right away. You can also do the compilation by yourself using the JavaC command, but for this demonstration I really don't want to generate a class file. Okay, so just to make clear about it one, so that you do not panic why I'm not compiling this Java code. Okay, so now we can also put another statement like this: if time is greater than is equal to 11, then we want to print one message that is going to be good evening or good afternoon. So this will also give us the same output. So if we get back there and execute it. Okay, so actually, yes. So yeah, since we are putting the equal sign here, that is why we are getting this both output here. But what if I remove this one and then go ahead and execute it? This time it will only show the good morning message. Yep. But the problem here is that this code block or one of this code block is redundant here. Okay, so this block, either this block or this block, is redundant here. Okay, so we can actually eliminate this redundancy by using else statement. So let's go ahead and type in else statement. Okay, so save it, get back, execute it, we get good morning. That's great. And how about let's change the time to uh, let's say 15. Let's assume that it's 24 hours clock. It's showing us good afternoon. That's great. Okay, now let's make it a little advanced. Like, what about uh, we want to print in some additional message, like uh, if the time is has time has a range, like it's between 0 to 5 it will show me this message, and then from 6 to 10 it will show me this message, and from so on and so forth. So how we can actually do this? We can achieve that goal using the else if statement. So how we do it? Let's say time is greater than is equal to 1 and time less than equal to 11. It's good morning. Or yep. Actually this is also redundant, so I want to only put this expression if there is a chance that the input can be negative, so that we can actually eliminate that chance that a negative are also counted in this code example. So we are eliminating that chance by using this validation. Okay, time is greater than is equal to 1, so we only consider the positive times. So what happens is that now we want to print from else if time is greater than 11 and time is less than equal to, let's say, 16, 17, 17. It will print good afternoon. Else if time is greater than 18 and time less than equal to 24, we wanna print good night. Additionally, we wanna print in another message that is invalid input. Okay, so let's say for now you have put some value outside the range. Let's say mm, -1. What this will print? Pause the video and uh, try to find the output by yourself. So as you can see, it will go into this expression and check if this input satisfies this condition. It will check that it's not between the range 1 and 11, so it will move to the else if statement, and we'll check if this belongs to this range, which is also not true. Then it will get to the next statement and check this condition, which is also not true, and then it will uh, get ahead and print the invalid input output. So let's try that. As you can see, the invalid input is printed. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so now let's say if you understand this much, then I can tell you something, that is these brackets around this expression is required. So you cannot actually do something like this. If you do this, what happens is that you will get the uh, compilation error. So if you just type in, as you can see, brackets are expected. As you can actually understand it, and you get this compilation failed. You will get two error message for each of these brackets, two errors at the beginning of the statement and at the end of the statement. So this is one thing. And also another thing to note here, this expression is always a Boolean type Boolean. So if you put this way, or maybe you want to, okay, at first this way, this will result in compilation error. Okay, as you can see, incompatible types, integer cannot be converted to Boolean. So if statement or else if statement always expects Boolean type expression. Okay, so which results in or results in a true false value. Okay, inside this expression or inside this a condition. Okay, so we cannot do it this way. You cannot. So this one thing that I had to make you clear about. And another thing is that you cannot actually assign any value here. For example, if you want to update this value to, let's say, time is equal to, let's say you want to assign a value, let's say 11. Okay, you want to assign this value here. So what do you think will happen? Can you guess? Pause the video and try to answer by yourself. Will it work or will it not work? And so to make sure that this will also result in compilation error, integer cannot be converted to Boolean. The same output or the same error we figured out in the previous previous example. Okay, so this also does not work. However, however, you can actually use Boolean expressions or assign Boolean expression here. For example, Boolean is time is morning true. So you can actually put it in here like this, is morning. So as this is the Boolean type, it always expects the Boolean type inside this conditional statement. So it will print in good morning in this case. So I can show you the output. And also you can assign value here inside this statement. So if it happens to be like this, then what happens is it will, can you guess what will happen this time? Pause the video and try by yourself what will happen. Okay, so if we get back and try to execute this, we get invalid input, right? Because this, if morning was assigned to false, which will result in skipping this output, and later on, as usual, the expression will expect the time to be between this range. Since those are not found, it will result in the invalid input. Okay, so that's another thing to understand. Okay, so uh, another important thing is that some in some programming languages, you know, 0 means, 0 defines false and 1 defines true. In Java, this is there is no concept like this. In Java, it is not. Some other programming languages, this may happen that if you put uh, 0 here, probably it will consider as false. If you put 1 here, it will be considered as true. However, in Java, 0 is an integer or integral type, and 1 is also an integral type. So remember that when you are working with this sort of thing in your software development. Okay, so if you understand this far, so I can move ahead and show you something, that is uh, okay, so multiple statements. So if you have multiple statements under one condition, then you have to, for example, you want to also print good morning, how are you doing? Oh, okay. So in that case, what happens is that, can you guess what happens now? In some programming languages, this indentation means that these statements are under this if, but in Java, actually it is not. This will result in a compilation error. So if I get back and show you, okay, so else without if, okay, so as you can see, the compilation is failed is happening. So what happens is that the compiler actually does not identify your you want to add that statement under the same if condition. So now what happens is that it will print the good morning and how are you doing. Okay, so if I get back and try to execute it, so as you can see, good morning, how are you doing is printed as expected. So now same goes for all of this. So multiple statements require curly braces around the statements. Okay, so same goes for all of these things. So I'm gonna skip that the curly braces part for this statement. So hope you understood what I'm saying. Okay, so if you have understood this one, then let's move out to the next concept, that is, okay, so uh, for example, I want to get back to the previous stage. So let's say integer type is equal to 11. Let's say time is equal to 11, and you want something like this. If time modulus 2 is not equal to 0, then you want to print out odd time, even time, good afternoon. So what will happen now? Will it work? Will it work? And what will be printed if it works? So pause the video for a while and try to figure out what's happening here. So what happens is that it's perfectly valid uh, code block or statement. It will compile perfectly, and also it will print odd time. So if you get back to the terminal and try it, as you can see, what time is printed. So let's get back. And another thing is that indentation in Java means nothing. Okay, so indentation actually means nothing in Java. So if you type in this way, this way, this way, and this way, it will also work. So indentation in some other programming languages, indentation means the um, code block is under some uh, the statement or expression, but in Java it doesn't work like that. So indentation has no value in Java. As you can see, the odd time is printed as before. So try to keep that in mind. Just don't think that it will print something different, but no, it doesn't work like that in Java. So but however, you have to make things clean and make it readable, more readable and understandable by other developers. Since you are not the only person who will be working on your project, there is likely that some junior developers, senior developers, or uh, different sort of developers will work with you. So make sure that your code is clean enough to understand by others, to be understood by others. Okay, so that's another thing. So if you have understood all these things, so I think uh, that's pretty good. You have covered most of the if else statements. What else I can share about if else? Okay, so there is another concept that is the unreachable code block. Okay, so for example, if it ever happens to you like this, so for example, uh, good morning, you're saying good morning if it's the time is less than 11, and if you are printing like this, if else time less than equal to 5, then you are printing early bird, and else printing good afternoon. So can you guess what will happen now? Try to pause the video and try to figure out the solution by yourself. So if you have understood that the input time, okay, so let's make it uh, 3 instead. Okay, so what happens now? What happens now? Try to figure out the output by yourself. So here time is 3, which is less than equal to 11. This condition, uh, this value satisfies this condition. So what happens? It prints out the good morning, and it never reaches to this code block because you are expecting that time is less than equal to 5 should print out early bird. But however, this input is true for both of these conditions. However, since it will reach the first statement or the first condition at first, it will print it out and jump out of these code blocks. Okay, so if we get back and run the code, it will print good morning. It will never reach to this code block. So this code blocks becomes unreachable due to our organization of the statements or the conditional uh, statements. So I think I have covered most of the if else if or the conditional statement or the decision making concepts. So now go ahead and practice yourself. I hope it is simple. There is no complexity whatsoever. Just you need to think from Java point of view when you are working with this decision making. So there is differences between some differences between the Java and other programming languages when it's come to the expression type and the conditional statement. So just look into it and try to concentrate from the Java point of view when you are working with Java. So that is basically it from this section. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Peace out. Bye.